As email marketers, we often do not consider where our data is stored. We're too busy running our marketing after all. But is it time to consider where you're uploading your precious customer database to? In the back end of 2015, however, something changed. If you're using a US-based email marketing company, or in fact a UK-based company that is renting American servers, something changed in October 2015 that's now going to impact you. The Safe Harbour Agreement, which was an agreement between the EU and US regarding the transfer of data, the EU ruled that in October 2015, the Safe Harbour Agreement regarding the transfer of data between the UK, EU and the US was no longer valid. So how does this relate to us? Well, if you're using an email marketing system or cloud storage, you'll be storing your precious data on your service provider's servers. Now, a lot of these companies house their servers inside the US. Previously, the Safe Harbour Agreement protected you. This meant that American companies were keeping your data in a secure environment, no third parties were freely dipping in and out of your data, and most of all, if you finished using that service provider, they deleted your data and did not keep it. Now, for years, the European Union had voiced concerns about this, that it was simply being ignored by some American service providers. Now, as a result, in October 2015, because of this, the EU ruled that this was no longer valid. So, can I still use an American company for my email marketing? With the Safe Harbour Agreement, when it was in place, American companies wanting to deal with UK and EU companies could rely on self-certification. This is where they self-certified themselves to say that yes, we will follow the Safe Harbour Agreement. But now this is no longer valid. They must now invoke something called a Model Contract Clause. This is where the companies negotiate with the European Union lawmakers their own agreements with them. So some of the big American companies such as Facebook, Google and Microsoft are already doing this. They're setting negotiations with the European Union to form their own agreements. But this isn't potentially available for all US-based companies. Do all companies have the resources and the finances to start protracted negotiations with EU lawmakers? So what should I do regarding the now defunct Safe Harbour Agreement? Well, first off, you should give your supplier a call. But if they're based in America, you probably can't call them, so maybe drop them an email. And you want to ask them 3 questions. Number 1. Where are your servers located? Number 2. Is any part of your network based outside the UK or European Union? And number 3. Is the software your own, or are you reselling an American product? If they answer yes to any of the above questions, you want to ask if they have a Model Contract Clause in place with the European Union that's recognised by the EU. If they haven't, well, maybe it's time to consider a move. Okay, so you might be saying, surely this is only temporary. A new agreement's bound to be put in place between the EU and the US. At the time of recording this video, negotiations between the EU and US have already been going for over 2 years. And the US have been saying that they are unwilling to put any protections in place for EU citizens storing their data on American servers. In fact, Edward Snowden recently revealed how the NSA had been routinely dipping into data stored by EU citizens kept on American servers. And this actually goes even further. American governments won't let EU companies or EU citizens sue American companies who are misusing your data. So effectively, if you're storing your data on American servers, you're storing it really at your own risk. So how does this affect me if I'm using Email Blaster? Well, in a nutshell, not at all. All our servers are based inside the UK. In fact, they're all based in our Tier 4 state-of-the-art data centre in Milton Keynes. And when it comes to our software and servers, we own everything, from the servers, the IP addresses, every line of code that makes up the software, even down to the network cables that connect our servers together. We're really picky about our network, and we don't like sharing our toys with anyone. We keep everything in-house. But we believe this allows us to do a better job, provide a better service, and provide a more reliable, secure product. And if you're uploading your customer database to a UK server, you can be rest assured that the Data Protection Act is going to protect you. So if you're considering moving to a UK-based supplier, we'd love to talk to you and love to work with you. So why don't you give us a call? We'd love to hear from you. And if you like, we could show you around our data centre in Milton Keynes to show you how secure your data is when you use Email Blaster.